Welcome to How to Run for Office and Get Away with It. Today, how I spend my summer vacation. For local campaigns, summer is prime time on the pavement, and we're walking you through the ultimate parade playbook, from the best parade formation to strategic crowd working and candy throwing. Plus, we'll take a trip back to 1974 to look at a parade that caught Walter Mondale completely off guard and what it teaches us about proper planning. Let's get into it. Welcome to How to Run for Office and Get Away with It. I'm Scott.
And I'm Bea.
And you are joining us now for episode 21 of this podcast.
How I spend my summer vacation.
That's right. And this is something that you have a lot of experience with.
It has been most of the summers of my life.
Having been a political family growing up.
Yeah,
and then running campaigns and spending as much time as you do with candidates.
The first thing I remember doing in campaigns was parades. Parades.
So I guess we should explain that the episode is about festivals and parades and community events that you should be appearing at.
And everything that you need to know about preparing for that.
And it seems like every other weekend there's something going on in the community, some sort of summer picnic or even a fall festival.
Speaking of today, for our audience, it's Flag Day.
Happy Flag Day, everybody.
If you don't know, Flag Day isn't a federal holiday.
Shout out to all the flags out there.
Flag Day is not a federal holiday, but it is the day that marks the anniversary of the original American flag being adopted.
Not made by Betsy Ross.
No, she was probably involved, but the Stars and Stripes with the circular,
with the circular stars.
The circular stars. That was adopted on June 14th, 1777. So
all right.
This is the anniversary of that, is the 249th year of America having a flag.
So we went like 11 months without having a flag.
I mean, there was a lot to do, so
they were a little busy.
And like the colonies each had like their thing, right? The militias each had theirs, so they were like,
the "Don't tread on me" flag.
They had all
like that.
They were set. They were like, this is not a priority.
Yeah, we're good.
We're gonna get to it. Personally, I think if you're going into these situations, you have your branding set before you announce.
I think that should be part of the plan, yes.
But I feel like that they had a lot on their plate at the time.
Yes.
And so they weren't so much worried about branding. And I can understand that. Mass communication in the 18th century was...
But I mean, especially at that time and leading up to that time, having a flag was very important.
Do you have a flag?
The brilliant Susie Eddie Izzard.
Yes. If you have not heard of this comedian, we are going to put a clip right here because Susie Eddie Izzard tells the best history of the world stories, and this is an absolute classic. It's a classic.
Stole countries. That's what you do. That's how you build an empire. We stole countries with the cunning use of flags. Yeah. You just sail around the world and stick a flag in. I claim India for Britain. And they go, you can't claim us. We live here. 500 million of us. Do you have a flag? We don't need a bloody flag. It's our country, you bastard. No flag, no country. You can't have one. That's the rules that I've just made up. And I'm backing it up with this gun that was lent from the National Rifle Association.
Hysterical, right?
One of my favorites.
One of our favorites.
What else is going on? We got a couple of primaries that have been wrapping up.
Yeah, we get to be excited for. We're 1 for 1 in our endorsements.
That's right.
Now, this was about a week and a half ago, but New Mexico, along with, I'm sure you saw New Jersey and Iowa, California. I'm missing I'm missing a couple. They all had primaries.
Right.
And the one person that we've endorsed, Abby Foster, won her primary against the seated incumbent.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this is
This is
somebody.
her first time running?
This is her first time running for that seat.
Right.
She's run for other office before. Wasn't successful in that first bid, but recognized it for what it was, which was an opportunity to get name ID and be involved in her community and start getting her platform and political philosophies out there and get
Right.
familiar with the community. And she took that and she parlayed it into
So rolled with the punches on that and
moved to a
on to
house
another
seat,
race.
and ran against the seated incumbent in her own party and unseated her because she worked hard. She had a plan. She followed her plan and she executed it well.
Well,
So
congratulations to Abby Foster.
we're really proud of her. If you want to look at a race that, is a success, that's definitely one to look at. And we're going to endorse her for November. So
Absolutely. Those
we-
of you in the Albuquerque region.
we've got a 1-for-1 ratio here on our endorsements. So we're doing better than Donald Trump. That's for sure.
Yeah, we are.
He just lost big in Iowa in that race. So anyway, yeah, summertime is an exciting time.
The living is not always easy. There's a lot of work to do if you're running for office during the summer.
If I can have my way, I'm spending it in the water. And yeah, running for office does not lend itself to that particular. You're going to want to find outlets wherever you can find them that lets you just unwind in the summertime because
Even if you throw a kiddie pool in your backyard and fill it with hose water just to lay in for 10 minutes a day.
just in the quiet, man, just
Give yourself a little peace
find your summer bliss.
because it's only going to get busier from here.
Right. And don't think that you've finished your primary and now you don't have to campaign until September. That is not the case.
Right.
So find your time to recharge, but then come back ready to be in dust and hot for most of you. Most Americans running for office are going to be dealing with the dust and the hot and the sweating and the people and the human smells and the people who are crowded together and the too close and all of that.
We sympathize with you.
I'm
Been there, done that.
I feel for you, man.
Yeah.
But summertime is not when we kick back. We've got a lot of work to do. We're hitting pavement and asphalt and dusty fairgrounds.
And we are going to be sitting right here to support you.
But just like your calendar, when I said at the very beginning, carve out that vacation time, well, you can't do that unless you've started at the beginning of your campaign planning for this stuff.
That's right.
So before we get into all of that, before we get into how I spend my summer vacation, let's hear something from our sponsor, from the people who bring us the show.
Running for office can be overwhelming, especially when you don't know where to begin. Be Political helps people just like you run for political office with the confidence of having a seasoned campaign manager. With Be Political, you'll find the professional advice you've been looking for, along with guidance and tools you can't find anywhere else. We'll help you stay organized and guide you in making important decisions about your campaign, from learning how to secure that big donor to choosing your campaign color scheme. Be Political is here for you. It's hard to know where to begin when you want to run. Start here. Be Political will show you the way. For all your campaign needs, go to bepoliticalllc.com. And now back to the show.
Okay, so who's ready to get into what to do to set up summer so that you can survive parades and fairs?
Planning your summer vacation, or planning your summer anyway, as a political candidate.
The biggest thing that you can do is stay organized, having checklists for these things. And we're going to throw some checklists up on the Trade Work It. Make sure you go to bepoliticalllc.com, go to the podcast page, and it is going to have transcripts for every single one of our episodes listed right there. You can listen to them on the on the website, and you're going to get material and things that you need from us to just help you along the way, and some great graphics that
Yeah. So for this episode, we've got several checklists and a list of items that and things that you need to consider. So you check out the transcript, and we may even put together a pre-made list for you to be able to print out.
yeah, and there's other resources that we have on there too,
Oh, yeah.
from previous episodes. So be sure to check out all of the episodes, find stuff that you can use for your campaign. Everybody needs some freebies.
Sure.
So, just like we were saying earlier, at the beginning of your campaign, you should be filling your calendar with this stuff. You should be looking at all of the cities and towns and anything that they put out on their government local calendar. And we went through this when you're setting up your calendar.
Sure.
We have a list. Go back and listen to that episode. I believe it's called We Should Totally Stab Caesar.
I believe so.
I think
Yes.
that's what it's called. Make sure you're including the filing deadlines and the costs of these things, like the application fees, and including deadlines for when you need to secure materials. So that all needs to be included in your campaign planning and calendar. And not just your calendar, you also need to be looking at your fundraising. It needs to be factored into the fundraising that you need to do. These are essential.
Right. Most of these events, you're going to have a registration fee that you'll pay to the city or to the organization hosting the event. It's typically minimal.
Yeah, it's usually under $100.
I can't speak for everybody. Check your local listings, but make sure that you're budgeting that in your campaign budget.
Yeah, it's for mid-sized cities and smaller. It's usually under $100. For larger cities, you might be as high as $250, but anything higher than that, you're going to be, I can't imagine where that would be, except for maybe New York or LA or something like that.
And speaking of your calendar, make sure that you are noting when the earliest possible date to register and secure your registration for these events. That's going to allow you to pick and choose your spot that you are given a little bit better.
And oftentimes it saves you money because they have discounts for the earlier
Sometimes they do, yeah.
registration. Yeah. So you want to find your earliest time to be able to apply. And exactly, you want to be able to pick your sweet spots in both the parades and the tents.
Because there are a lot of positions in a parade or in if you have a tent at a festival with other vendors and things like that, there's definitely optimal spaces and things that you want to avoid. And we're going to talk about those right now.
Yeah. Let's go over some of the, you've gotten it in early and you get to decide.
If you're given the opportunity to choose your spot, your position in the parade, or the spot for your tent, do so, but follow these guidelines.
So, and even if they don't ask. Just say,
ask anyway.
I'm requesting, if possible, these things. These are the things that you want to make sure you are explicitly asking to be placed away from in the parade formation.
Right.
Okay. You need to ask, one, that you are not next to any loud machinery.
Tractors or monster trucks, that type of thing.
Exactly. It drowns out your music, which you should have music playing that gets people's attention. And it's going to stress you out. You don't realize it. You don't even think about it. But listening to that loud machinery, there's a reason, that they wear protective headgear on this.
Oh, yes.
Or earwear, right? So listening to that for 2 miles at a slow pace, it starts to rumble and it hurts your ears and it really puts you on edge.
Sure.
I've had that happen. You don't want to be by loud machinery. It stresses me out. I don't know if it stresses other people out, but listening to it without ear protection and trying to yell and wave and knowing that you're blaring music that's not even being heard, the entire situation is not awesome.
No.
So stay away from loud machinery. Ask that you're also not near sirens.
Fire trucks, police, ambulances, things like that are in the parade, obviously.
It hurts you and your volunteers' ears. It does. It drowns out your music again.
And it scares the shit out of you when they turn it on.
It does. And I'm going to tell you right now, I grew up traveling in a police car with sirens, right? And I'm used to that. And it still stresses me out because at any minute or at any given time they do that thing where you guys may not know.
You know
They
what it is.
they flip a switch and it's like, "Wah," and it makes everyone jump. It's intended to do that.
And it's hilarious to the people who are doing it
Oh yeah, they
because
love
they
it.
see everybody in the crowd jumps.
They get a
especially
reaction.
kids. Yeah.
And it's great. The crowd loves it because they're getting it once.
They're getting it once. You're getting it for 2 hours.
But it is like Chinese water torture because you know it's coming again.
You just
You
don't
know when. And by the time you're at the end of the parade, you're like shell shocked. Like you're jumping at every little noise. So, yeah, save yourself that PTSD.
Right.
Even if it's momentary PTSD.
And horses. Stay away from horses.
Livestock in general.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have horseback police officers that go through parades. You've got 4-H clubs that come through. A lot of times they'll have different animals that are being paraded.
Try to stay in front of those units if you can.
Yeah, you don't want to be anywhere behind livestock, especially directly behind them. One, it smells horrific. 2, the manure, you're playing dodge the dodge the horse bucky the entire time you're in the parade. So stay away from the livestock in the parade. So those are your big 3. Don't be anywhere near loud machinery, sirens, or livestock.
That's right.
Right. So next thing to consider, guys, I don't know how many times I need to say this. The snacks matter, guys. You got to get the good candy. You've got to get the good snacks.
Don't even think about doing a parade if you are not handing out candy. I think that's the worst PR mistake you could make in a parade.
And it's such an easy thing to do.
Sure.
But you have to make sure you have the right candy. And as a matter of fact, our little spotlight and history thing that we do at the end of every episode, that we're going to talk about what matters, what candy.
Right, exactly.
But you're going to be judged by your candy. If you have crappy, cheap candy, well, they're going to associate you with crappy, cheap candy. You're not going to make the impact that you need to make.
Yeah.
The absolute baseline here, okay? You need 100 pounds of heat-resistant candy per mile of the route. You do not want chocolate. You do not want caramel. It is July and August and September, and it's hot.
Yes.
You do not want to be throwing candy that is already melted and it is,
Yeah, and there's just no way to prevent it. Chocolate bars or chocolate candy in general is a really bad idea to hand out in summer.
Now, you can hand it out, but having it out in the open, throwing it to the crowd, terrible idea.
Okay.
We're going to talk about when you can when to use the chocolate, but you're going to have a special stash of that. But for the most part, you want like those, they actually sell just parade candy. It's in big bags that you can get at party stores.
And I'm sure you can order it online. Amazon has it. Yeah.
But it's like big bags of candy. Sometimes it's like if you get like the good bag, it's like a dog food bag size bag of candy, of parade candy.
Okay. So when you're shopping for candy, make sure that you have 100 pounds of parade candy per mile of the parade.
Heat resistant
candy. You're going to want a special bag of candy, maybe 5 pounds or so for the candidate to hand out.
That's where you have chocolate.
Okay. So you can have.
And you only want to do this if you have air conditioning available in your parade vehicle. Okay. Because otherwise it's going to melt and it's pointless.
Right. But a special little tip is to save back some good candy for the end of the parade route.
Especially, yes.
Because how many times have you been toward the end of a parade route and the participants run out of candy by the time they get to the end because they're throwing out handfuls at a time and they underestimated how much they needed. So the people at the end of the route, they get screwed out of the candy.
So save back some like really high end candy, like the good stuff. If you're doing like the generic parade candy, do the high-end stuff and save it towards the end because those people just got screwed by all the other people. And now you've rolled up and you're like,
And you're the hero.
here's some peanut butter cups. Another thing about the chocolate, and also if you can get other baby friendly candy,
Sure.
things that are appropriate for children. So being able to hand out candy that's appropriate for your toddlers and your littlest.
Sure.
That is, hey, I see families and their unique needs. And now you're somebody who met a need that the other, not even just the other candidates, the other parade members, the other people in the parade didn't think to do that.
No.
And it gives the candidate the opportunity to walk over to babies and, I mean, it's a cliche for a reason, kiss and take a picture
That's right.
and then keep going on the parade route, right? After the candy, though, now we got to get back to the one topic that I'm going to have a moment with. What's everybody going to wear, right?
Right.
Now, if you have campaign t-shirts, this is exactly when you want them to be used.
Not by the candidate.
Not by the candidate. Candidates should not be wearing their own shirts. But this is where you're supposed to use campaign t-shirts. But if you don't have campaign t-shirts and you don't have the funds for that right now and you're about to be in a parade, do not overextend yourself. There are ways to deal with that. You don't need campaign t-shirts, okay? They're great, but they're not a necessity.
Right.
Okay.
All right. So let's start with the candidate. What should the candidate be wearing?
The candidate, you need to ditch the heavy suits, the pantsuits,
The business attire. This is not a business attire situation.
you want something for summertime in general that's standardized and breathable. You want a casual summertime uniform, so to speak, for your candidate. If you do have the money, a nice polo with your branding and name on it, embroidered on it, almost like where in place of your name tag. Or it can have your branding and leave room for your name tag. You're probably going to want to put that with some nice khaki shorts. You want to stay away from jean shorts for sure. But if you can do khaki shorts, clearly, I mean nice khaki shorts, not cargo shorts, guys.
No.
I'm going to tell you this right now. And Fetterman, if you're out there listening, not cargo shorts. You can do this, guys. Not cargo shorts.
If your brand is a skater boy, then wear cargo shorts.
Yep.
Otherwise, khaki shorts, something, dress clothes, dress shorts.
And when you're wearing that, it is essential that you have on running walking shoes. They need to be comfortable. They need to be broken in, basically, but something that is not going to be blistering you. Shoes that have good support, arch support, that you're not going to have to be wearing Band-Aids on your heels before the parade is over. You want to know that your feet are not what you're worried about as you're walking around, shaking hands, dealing with all of these people coming at you. So make sure that you are wearing comfortable shoes. Everything that you're wearing should be meant to be professional, comfortable, and breathable. That's the goal. Okay? Professional, comfortable, breathable.
Right. So if you don't have campaign t-shirts and you don't have the embroidered logo polo shirts or whatever, then your volunteers and your candidate should be wearing coordinated colors that match your branding.
Right.
Get some solid color polos that match your branding colors.
What you're looking for is making sure that in pictures or with your name tag or when you are out doing things, people recognize that you are in campaign mode. And one of the ways they do that is by recognizing your campaign branding colors. And you are going to look more professional because you are going to coordinate in these moments that are very visual, which is parade, right? Everyone's staring at you. So you want your volunteers to dress the same in similar colors to your branding, but they will also be wearing identifying features that can be reused, like lanyards that show that they're volunteers and has your branding on it. Stickers that has your branding on it works just like a button. So you have these things that are far less expensive ways of creating that brand reinforcement
Right.
without having the stress of I need 25 printed t-shirts in 15 different sizes and hoping that all of the volunteers who said they needed one will show up and that I didn't just waste $500.
Absolutely. Whenever we talk about this, I always think of our friend Lee, who has run for office a couple of times, whose campaign color scheme was blue and yellow.
Yes.
And he would always wear a yellow shirt, a polo shirt, button up, sweater, whatever. Whenever he was doing campaign events, that was his campaign uniform. It was yellow,
And
a yellow shirt.
And I worked on that campaign. And while they did have t-shirts,
They had t-shirts.
what they did with a lot of their volunteers for exactly the same reason, not everyone got a t-shirt. They asked people to dress in a specific color when they showed up to parades and different things. And that cut back on their bottom line in costs.
Yeah.
And they weren't asking people to buy t-shirts just to volunteer for the campaign.
Right. So coordinating the colors of your campaign is another way to identify yourself for parades and for public events.
And we're going to talk more about what volunteers should look like. But in the meantime, it's very important that we wrap up this conversation about the candidate apparel with the sunglasses role that I have. This is something that people don't think much about. They're thinking it's summertime, it's bright, I'm staring into the sun, I'm on asphalt, I'm squinting, sunglasses, right?
Right.
The problem with that is a lot of times you've got sunglasses on and you're taking pictures with people and you're talking to people and they can't see your eyes. It's not good. Don't do that.
It's disturbing.
Never do that.
Actually. It erodes trust.
It does without even them realizing why.
Yeah.
If you really have to wear sunglasses in order to not look like you are angry squinting,
Which is me. I can't go outside without sunglasses.
while you're marching or you're riding, depending on which one works best for your logistics, I recommend walking in a zigzag. We'll talk about that in a minute. But if for some reason you can't and you need to be sitting in the car and you're squinting and it just makes you look pissed off, right?
Right.
You can go ahead and wear sunglasses then.
Right.
The moment that you are engaged with any person whatsoever, you need to take those sunglasses off. If you are walking in the parade and you are walking over to the sideline to shake hands, you should not have those sunglasses on. So really, if you have to have them, okay. But if you are walking and dealing with people, I highly recommend get over it, deal with it, and as soon as the parade's over, put them back on. You suffer for your campaigns.
Sure. Absolutely.
But again, weigh those options. If you look like a jerk and a troglodyte walking around squinting at everyone, the sunglasses
Yeah, it's a trade-off.
might be the way to go.
Right.
Use them. Yeah. Sparingly, take them off immediately when talking to people.
Okay.
People will also subconsciously see that as a sign of respect that you're speaking to them and immediately take off your sunglasses. They will subconsciously, if not consciously, recognize that you are choosing to look them in the eye.
Right.
And that matters.
And you're not hiding anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get back to the volunteers. So we already talked about you don't have to get t-shirts for everybody to make it look uniform. Hopefully you do have things that you've bought that are very inexpensive, especially in comparison. Branded balloons.
Balloons, stickers.
Your stickers instead of buttons, instead of pin-on buttons. And you should hopefully have like a vinyl banner that 2 volunteers are carrying in the front. We're going to talk about that, but you know,
That's part of what was part of our previous episode about things that you need to budget for in your campaign. And a vinyl banner is multi-useful. It's used for parades. It's used to put out in front of your booth, your tent when you're meeting people. You can use it at other campaign events and rallies and things like that.
even
It's
just
incredibly useful.
mark the house of a friend raiser where you have people coming over to a house party. can put it out there to mark this is the place.
Definitely one of those things on the must-have list.
So you have your volunteers, they're branded. They've got stickers that are on them that are campaign buttons that have your branding on them.
Get the round straw hats like they wore in the 20s.
No, those are expensive.
I know, but those are great looking.
I mean, they're fun, but yeah, don't spend campaign
You're
funds.
carrying around red, white, and blue bunting on your vehicle, and you've got those straw hats.
No, not the straw hats, but I will tell you 2 car magnets, one for each side of any vehicle. You should have them on your vehicle at home that you're running around in for sure. But if you only have 2, take them off your car and put them whatever vehicle it is that you're riding in the parade.
Absolutely.
2 car magnets.
And,
sure.
and those are expensive too. So
But
be
those are
judicious about that.
But those are worth
It's worth getting a set.
a set.
Yeah. Let's talk about the parade formation.
Yeah, we've got a parade formation here that really kind of sets you up. If you follow this, you should have enough people to execute a parade perfectly,
Right.
right? You can have more than this. You always want more than what,
The more people in your parade, the
the
better.
better. Yeah, because it shows a lot of energy and enthusiasm.
Even if they're just walking.
Right. So first, these are your essential people and your parade formation. You've got your lead crew. These are your 2 most high energy volunteers. They're walking 15 feet ahead of the vehicle and they're holding that campaign banner that we're
Right.
talking about. Candidates never hold the banner.
No, this is a great job for kids, for teenagers, or for some of your high energy volunteers who want to have that extra responsibility.
And, we've gotten roped into being banner people.
Many times we've gotten roped into being banner carriers through one thing or another.
And, it's fun. It's fun being a banner carrier.
It's a lot of responsibility. You're setting the pace for everything. You're making sure you don't get too far behind the people in front of you.
Right. So, but I cannot stress this enough. Candidates never hold the banner. Here's why. It restricts your mobility. Candidates need to be waving. You need to be shaking hands. You need to be handing out candy. You need to be taking pictures, handing out stickers, put on people.
This parade is not just for you to be seen or have your name be seen. It's for interaction. It's for one-on-one, face-to-face interaction. As brief as it might be, it's really important to people when there's somebody whose name they see up on a sign and they're right there in front of them, they have that opportunity. So it's really about that candidate being able to be mobile and move from person to person and from crowd to crowd.
And they are picking up on your personality.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So you want to put that shining personality out there. You can't do it behind a banner.
That's right.
So lead crew, high energy volunteers walking 15 feet ahead with the banner.
Right.
So after your banner, folks, you have your flank walkers. Your flank walkers are 2 high energy volunteers. Again, this is your high energy place.
Every parade needs a lot of high energy.
They're walking slightly ahead of the candidate. They're on each curb, one on each side of the street. They stay to their side, one on the left, one on the right. Their job is to scan the crowd and identify local influencers or friendly faces or anybody that the candidate wants to make sure they personally handshake and that the crowd sees them personally handshake.
They're looking for babies and people with signs and
they're
things like
looking
that.
for babies and puppies and veterans and signs and the local celebrity and the person who owns everyone's favorite restaurant. Like, this is who they're looking for. Like, these people should be familiar with the community so that they recognize those faces. But I think more importantly than anything right here with these folks is as they're for the love of everything, don't point. Don't point. Don't be like, over here, come get this one. Don't do that. There needs to be a signal of some sort.
Okay.
Something that they can quickly signal, hey, over here to the candidate. The candidate can, as they're zigzagging, they see that. Or if the candidate has zigged towards you, or towards that volunteer should be like, hey,
They
that
can
keeps coming up.
can guide them to the right people, and then also be available to break the candidate away.
If
So
someone
that
tries to hold on to them.
yeah, so that the parade can move on. It's got to be constantly moving.
Right. So, and people like they get hold of you and they're shaking your hand and whatever, and they're like, they want to hold on and they're like, let's talk. And it's like, right now,
Yeah.
I can't. I'm in a parade, man.
Let the volunteer be the bad guy to break it up.
Sorry, I got to take him away. We're in a parade. Like that has to happen. You got to have it. So that's your flank walkers, lead crew, flank walkers. Then it's your candidate and anybody that is like in the candidate core. And I'll talk about that in a second, but let's focus on the candidate, right?
Okay.
So the candidate belongs always zigzagging constantly, diagonally back and forth between the left and right curb,
Right.
waving and being seen by both sides.
Shaking hands, all that kind of stuff.
The candidate's hands, guys, if you're the candidate, your hands need to be completely free. You should not be holding any signs or banners or bags, certainly not heavy bags. Your hands are free. You are waving and shaking hands. There should be a volunteer, ideally like a spouse or partner in your life,
Right.
or a volunteer who, is like your body person or what have you. They are your pack mule. They are volunteering to serve as your hands. They're holding the candy that you are handing out. They're holding your palm cards that you are handing out.
Okay.
And then when I say that core, when I say that's going with the candidate, there may be a time, and this is fantastic if it happens for you, that you get a guest endorser to walk in the parade with you.
Oh yeah.
This is like a headliner name, somebody who's like a public endorsement that everybody's like, oh, hey, that person's walking with them. They
Sure.
must be great. This person and you are Siamese twins, right? You are always together. Their hands should probably be free too. You want them, the two of you, moving back and forth in that zigzag pattern. You want to be seen with them. That way, people are always cheering for both of you, and you never have to question whether or not they're cheering for you or the guest. But it's great to have that guest endorsement. It's great to see them waving next to you. It gives people a sense of, I trust that. You get trust by transference.
Sure.
I trust this person, therefore I trust this person. So we have our lead crew, flank walkers, and our candidate and the candidate core. So behind that, what do we got? We've got our anchor vehicle.
Yes. It's great to have a vehicle to support
You should.
everything else that's going on in the parade.
You should have a vehicle.
Yes.
So your anchor vehicle, it's one of the three choices, right? You've got your pickup truck, your very, very clean, recently detailed pickup truck, your convertible.
Especially if you're gonna ride.
Yeah.
And you want to sit on the back and wave like a princess.
Or you have your classic car. All three are popular with everybody. I'm partial to the classic car because I like a classic car because I don't really care about other cars. Whatever vehicle you have, and I can't stress this enough, it needs to be sparkly clean. I mean, freshly detailed, beautiful, sparkly clean, not a speck of dust, dirt in sight if possible. But your anchor vehicle should have at least one volunteer whose only job is to drive it. Too many times we have people who are driving the anchor vehicle and we're asking them to be in charge of the music and to be in charge of any of the supplies that are in there. They should not be doing that. They should be focused on safety and the parade and the speed and how fast volunteers are going. Do not distract your volunteer driver. Do not distract them from their task at hand. There's too many things that are going on around them. They need to be focused on that.
Right.
You need one volunteer driver, and then you have the person that should be in the vehicle who acts as the rolling supply depot person.
Right.
They're the ones who are taking care of blasting the upbeat, non-controversial music. I can't stress that enough, right? You don't want anything explicit. You don't want anything that is going to tick anybody off. I mean, stick with
Stay away from the new Lily Allen record.
yeah, you're not doing Lily Allen. That's a terrible idea. And she's British anyway. So they're in charge of the music. They're in charge of carrying backup candy. They're in charge of the candidate emergency kit.
That should always be with you.
Always with you, always. And this is like a time when you definitely need it.
Oh, yeah.
You need Band-Aids. You need like a cooling cloth if you got one in there.
You need hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer,
Sure.
all that stuff.
Maybe even a different shirt, a new shirt to put in.
You're probably going to need to change a shirt if possible after the parade because it's hot and gross. And especially if you got somewhere to be after the parade, which you very often do.
Yes.
You're often going from the parade to the next thing and you've got to change shirts. So you got to have your candidate emergency kit, your anchor crew person that is in charge of your supplies. They're going to be in charge of making sure that those things are out of the way, taken care of. And if you need something like a Band-Aid or antiseptic or hand sanitizer right away, they can get to it, right?
Right.
Then they're also in charge of the water.
Make sure that you have water for all of your parade walkers.
It is hot. You are on asphalt. And these people are volunteering to walk with you. They are sweating. It is hot. Some of it is uphill. And it's a lot. So you want to make sure that you have access to hydration no matter what. Make sure that your volunteers have plenty of water available to them. This is, by the way, the job that I like. I like this job.
The anchor crew.
The anchor crew. I'm in the car with the air conditioning and here's a bottle of water. Here's some extra candy. I saw that person up there. Make sure you tell the candidate to walk them around. So, that's great.
Right.
I'm a big fan of the air conditioning.
And make sure that all of your candidates or your volunteers, rather, are briefed on how they should be interacting with the crowd. If someone is approaching them or if they have the opportunity to say hi to somebody, there's certain behaviors that they should exhibit, certain ways that they should be interacting with people as well.
Yeah. In another episode, we've talked about how to deal with volunteers and how to talk to them and how to train them in certain things. This is one you definitely want to go over the do's and don'ts of parade behavior. So let them know what it is that they're doing and why this is what they're doing and what their behavior should be during that time.
Yeah.
I was one of the kids that was in the anchor crew, which we're going to talk about here in just a second, in the anchor vehicle. But that is one of my first memories of campaigning is throwing candy as the anchor crew in the anchor vehicle and, yelling at the kids that they I already gave you candy. Why are you trying to get more candy? I was a little kid too, but and they had to be like, just give them the candy. But they're trying to take more candy and they said that they weren't even going to vote. So what is the anchor crew? Well, besides being the kid that is trying to, gatekeep the candy, you want at least 2 volunteers if possible, positioned safely inside the car, in the back seat, or in the bed of the pickup truck, and they are tossing candy. They're tossing it low and underhanded and safely. They should never throw the candy directly at people or near tires. And again, we keep saying it, stay with that story at the end because it's kind of funny.
I think it's interesting that you said throw the candy underhand, but you made an overhand throwing motion.
Well, it's the limited space that I have here in the studio. The only space I have with the microphones is to go overhand. Stay away from the overhead toss. So they should be throwing, towards the ground, low and scattered out in front of people. And then if for some reason those folks aren't able to fit in your anchor vehicle, they should be walking next to the vehicle, not covering any signage and tossing candy from the sides behind. And you'll notice that no one is behind the vehicle at any time. 1, it's dangerous, right? 2, the exhaust from your vehicle.
Oh, yeah. That gets real old after a couple of miles.
Right. And at least, with the banner and everything else, you've got space, so don't put any of your volunteers behind your vehicle. Keep them.
Yeah. The vehicle should be
to the side.
The last part of your group.
Right. So I think we've gotten to this pretty extensively. If anybody has any questions, if you run into something crazy that
We
you're like, what do I do in this parade situation? This happened to me. Dear How to Run for Office and Get Away with It. I never thought it would happen to me. That's a joke for older people.
Yeah. We've talked at some length about parades and the proper preparation for them. These, in my mind, these are really important events as a candidate in your community. Half of the town is there. They're all in a good mood because everybody loves watching a parade, and they're fun and they're festive and people are having a good time. And you want to be involved in that. You want to be seen as somebody who's not only supporting the events in your community, but who's part of having that good time. And it's a great opportunity for you to be seen and get your names out there for people maybe who wouldn't have an opportunity to see you or meet you any other way.
And it's a good opportunity for people to get to know the fact that you are the person with the good candy. That means so much to people. Stickers and candy are what voters thrive on. I swear to God.
And this comes from experience, folks. So you got to listen to it.
It's true. I mean, we're about to talk about the dignified bribe. But I can't stress enough the stickers and the candy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to send out a request right now. I'd love to hear about anybody who's been involved in these types of events from a political campaign standpoint or from any other type of business. Let us know things that you've run into and what types of crazy things might have happened to you that we haven't talked about here.
You can tag us at How to Run Pod and let us know. You're like, hey, like this is what our parade looked like, and this is what we did right, and this is what we did not know. Like
we would love to see.
we wouldn't know.
We'd love to see campaign pictures of you out there.
And if you're doing it right now, like if it's not from a year ago and you're doing it right now, man, we really want to see those.
Oh yeah,
we'll throw out some free advice to you folks that are for these parades and festivals.
Sure we will.
And somebody who could have used that.
Let's do a little history lesson and see what we can learn from a candidate in history.
The Charlie Brown of American politics. Poor Walter Mondale.
Walter Mondale just couldn't catch a break.
I call him the Charlie Brown of American politics. So if you're not familiar with Walter Mondale, he was vice president of the United States with Jimmy Carter and then went on to run for president in 1984 against Ronald Reagan.
And got trounced.
It was ugly.
He got beaten to a bloody pulp.
So, and Walter Mondale's an okay fella. He is. I just feel so bad for him.
They called him Fritz.
He was Fritz Mondale. And so a few years before becoming vice president of the United States, he was senator.
From the great state of Minnesota.
He was Senator Mondale.
Shout out to Minnesota.
Don't you know? Hey, we love you. We've been supporting you all along.
Oh, yeah.
We love you, Minnesota. He was in Red Wing, Minnesota in a Labor Day parade. And it's 1974. And at the time, he was considering running for president. So he's trying to maintain a high profile and he's out keeping
himself seen. He's campaigning for years.
Yeah, he's doing retail politics is what he's doing.
This is not a one season thing.
He's trying to show his buying power. He's walking into parades and doing a lot of local party events and supporting Democratic candidates to show himself as a broker and a power.
And Minnesotans were pretty favorable of him.
So he's walking with the Minnesota DFL. If you're not familiar with the DFL party in Minnesota, that is the Democratic Party. They have the Democratic Farmer Labor Party. It's a really interesting history, but we don't have time for it today.
Let's not get into.
If you're running as a Democrat in Minnesota, you are running as a member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, which that's what he's doing.
It just encompasses everybody.
It really does. There's a reason. So he's their high profile guest for their basically this like county party chapter. And he's there trying to help the delegate of candidates that are under the DFL party, have the support. But so the local party, they want to stand out and they get this really great idea. Instead of like doing the standard parade candy, they decided they were going to throw campaign buttons. And back then, I mean, we're talking like the metal buttons.
Oh, those were huge in the 70s and before that. The big metal buttons.
Everybody liked to put them on, and they came back in the late 80s and 90s where you put them on your jean jacket, where you had like the buttons of all kinds. And so they decided to throw those and jawbreaker candies.
Right.
I think we can all guess what happens.
I think we can maybe see what's coming, but it's also important to note that Mondale refused to ride in a car for the parade. He wanted to walk.
But he was doing that's exactly what we recommend.
That's exactly what he should be.
He should be doing that.
But it is important to know that he was walking in the parade.
He's walking ahead of the car where he's supposed to be positioned.
They were lined up exactly the way we recommend.
Everybody is following our tiered system of campaign position in a parade.
What they are not following is the throw underhand and low idea.
They're not throwing underhand and low. They're not throwing parade appropriate objects.
They're winging this hard candy and buttons.
And throwing it as like they are hitting it hard, like overhand. So
very enthusiastic.
As the parade progresses, this massive volunteer crew that's riding in the bed of the pickup truck behind Mondale, they're pitching it like baseballs, right?
Trying to get to the back row of crowds.
I understand where
it's a strategy. It's a thought.
But like, you're throwing that stuff that hard into the crowd, and this poor crowd is taking like scattered missile fire. Like
they're ducking for cover under mailboxes.
They're getting hurt.
Yeah.
So they're ducking as they're getting pelted with metal buttons and jawbreakers. Meanwhile, because Mondale's working the crowd and he's out front.
And remember, he's in front of the truck.
He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be, but instead he's getting relentless barrage of heavy metal buttons and jawbreakers hitting him in the back of the head.
Ping, ping,
they're
ping.
just pounding off of him. And he's surrounded by thousands of voters.
Sure.
The local press, and he's thinking about running for office. So he can't duck and cover. He can't yell at the volunteers because he's going to look unhinged.
Yeah, you can't dive for the curb and yell, "Charlie's coming."
Or worse. Oh my God.
This is 74, by the way.
So, exactly though. And that's a very real thing that I'm wondering if things you need to consider. It's 1974. You have veterans from World War I, II, Korea, and Vietnam all in attendance of a parade.
Fresh out of Vietnam.
Some, yes. And you are chucking metal and hard projectiles are just raining down on them. Somebody was having some PTSD.
I'm sure.
And I just feel so terrible for them. So Mondale, he couldn't do anything about it because not only will he look unhinged to the people around.
Oh, it would be a terrible
there's
view.
TV cameras and people taking pictures, and he doesn't want somebody to get that awkward picture where he looks like a crazy person.
So he's going to stand there and take it.
For 2 miles. He stood there and waved and took friendly fire. The crowds on the side, they're taking fire. Everybody's ducking. And these people that are volunteering with the local party are just like, yeah, for 2 straight miles.
Sure.
Mondale gets to the end and he's like, oh my God.
And I feel like that's the last time that these volunteers worked for Mondale. That's enough to get you fired as a volunteer.
It's hard to get fired as a volunteer. I feel like that local party learned a thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I feel like lessons were learned by the local party.
Try to avoid giving the constituents concussions with flying projectiles.
You know what you can't hurt anybody with?
Gummies.
Gummies. So
the good gummies. Don't get the crappy gummies.
The good ones. Yeah. Don't get the ones that are hard.
Walter Mondale will confirm. Snacks are important. Guys.
Snacks are important, guys. So takeaway on that.
Lots of takeaways there.
It's such a funny story.
Everything was fine until the candy started flying through the air.
Standing out in those moments without thinking it through all the way, it can literally become friendly fire on the parade. the candidate and your special guest, your important person who's there to endorse you, because that's what he was there doing. Like,
Right.
he wasn't the candidate. He was the big name that was endorsing them, and they were pelting him.
And that's why he lost in 84.
So if you don't plan in advance and you don't think things through, bad things can happen every single time. If your volunteers are launch pitching jawbreakers
Right.
and hard metal projectiles, you're not winning hearts and minds, folks. You're causing concussions.
Yep. That's all you're doing.
So train your team. Make sure they understand they need to toss low and slow. Have candy in hand for the sidelines, for the people that are flanking.
And no sharp metal discs.
No sharp metal discs. And for the love of Ben Franklin, protect your candidate and the talent. Don't stone them with your parade fare.
That is such an appropriate story for this episode.
Even your swag can be weaponized if your logistics fail, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot to take away. You probably looked at this episode and said, is there really a lot to be said about parades? Yeah, they're a big deal.
I'm pretty sure that Walter Mondale wishes there had been more said about how to do a parade.
I think he would have wished that they would have put some more forethought into the parade.
I mean, I don't think anything that we're talking about is extraordinary new information for anybody, but it's a reminder of things that you need to think about and plan for. Because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Nice.
Like that?
I like that.
That's a good one.
So yeah, we can help you with a lot of this stuff. We can walk you through these processes and help you get set up. Every time we're talking about planning your calendar, planning your campaign, well, that's stuff that we have strategy sessions available
Absolutely.
for. We run whole campaigns. Sometimes we just help you get off the ground. We have strategy sessions available to campaigns at a reasonable price. It's perfect for local candidates who are looking to get just a little bit of help getting their volunteers together and getting them trained properly.
Whatever aspect of your campaign that you have any questions about or need some help with, even if it's something like what to do if you have a parade, we can help you.
So go to our website, go to beepoliticalllc.com.
That's us.
That's us. You'll find information on the types of strategy sessions that we have to offer, and you can email us at info@bepoliticalllc.com and send us a request for information. Let us know that you're looking for a consult, and we'll see what we can do for you.
Or if you have any questions or have suggestions for things to discuss on our podcast for future episodes, let us know that too. We'd love to hear from you.
Yeah.
And we want to see your campaign pictures.
Hit us up on social media, any of the social media that you use. We probably do too. It's at How to Run Pod. We want to hear with hashtags or thread topics how to run. And, we want to see pictures of your summer.
Yeah.
Show us how you spend your summer vacation.
Send us your summer picture, campaign picture. If you're running for office, we'll mention you on the air.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that.
Yeah.
You're sending us your pictures with the hashtag how to run or putting it in the thread there of how to run. Tag us on Facebook. We will definitely include that. And we want to hear your fun stories. Tell us some of the silly things or the things that you've learned along the way.
Yes. We can't wait to hear from you.
We can't wait. And in the meantime,
You're going to have to wait a week to hear us again.
So until then, enjoy your summer.
Get some comfortable shoes and
Let's get ready to run.